Hey everyone. Here are some things I'm wondering. How Petra Kvitova played a major final with so much poise days before issuing this harrowing testimony. What a tennis commissioner would make of this charge by Dirk Hordoff against the highly controversial, hastily implemented ITF Tour. The ITF categorically denies this allegation, when the ITF will explain how it can snuff out opportunities for young players in the name of preserving integrity and reducing match fixing, while still accepting millions from a data company that is the essential conduit to match fixing. If, as a friend suggests, the IPTL was tennis version of Fire Festival. On to some Q. Though it begs the question, is he the guy rolling the boulder, or his trying to beat him the exercise in futile labor, as long as we're talking CCPs? Jamie Lisanti and I discussed this on the podcast last week. But I feel like this is a point that doesn't get made often enough, so here it goes. This is, of course, not quantifiable. There's no Hawkeye data to confirm or graphic to be cooked up by the gang in the truck. But tennis is surely at a high water mark for character. I'm really struck by the overarching virtue, dignity, coolness of players these days. They're different and sometimes weird and incredibly diverse. Maybe this starts at the top and trickles down. If the Big Four, and their WTA counterparts, are well-adjusted and honorable, the players ranked lower will fall in line. But go down the rankings, and you are hard-pressed to find a disagreeable figure. This, suffice to say, has not always been the case. It's such a strange moment for the sport. Tennis politics is at an all-time high. There are double dealers and self-dealers, narcissists and freeloaders, the emptiest of suits, and empty pantsuits, political survivalists and charlatans. The stupid ATP World Team Cup is 6 weeks after Davis Cup, which is 6 weeks after Laver Cup. People are waking up to the deep flaws of the ITF Transition Tour, already rebranded the ITF Pro Tour, which will victimize thousands of young players. The ATP is the site of a palace coup attempt. We could go on. And yet the athletes themselves are, collectively, terrific. Smart, weird, good-humored, human, humane, and a joy to be around. I don't know how the gang in PR and marketing sells this point, but for all the craziness and dysfunction and political clumsiness, it's easy to have fidelity in tennis when the folks actually hitting the balls are the kinds of people you'd relish having as neighbors and friends. It looks like Naomi Osaka is the real deal. We've been looking for the new face of tennis for the last couple years, and yet Naomi just came out of left field to grab the stage. It's quite impressive, but I feel like I missed her rise to prominence. Question: did you foresee Osaka's rise, or were you caught as off guard as I was? She really seemed to come out of nowhere. I just didn't know she was even a factor and have been very, very pleasantly surprised. I hope she stays and doesn't prove to be just a flash in the pan. Randy Mays, Phoenix. I am product of the Midwest, where self-promotion is a misdemeanor and bragging is a felony. As many of you guys remind me, I have made some dubious predictions through the years. Most recently, it's noted that Angie Kerber didn't win the 2019 Australian Open. Yum, Naomi Osaka is the new queen of tennis, but I have to say, I did see Osaka coming. So much so that it earned me grief among colleagues. I forwarded your email to Brett Haber, my Tennis Channel co-conspirator, who, for years, listened as I prattled about Osaka's athleticism and power and introversion, which I thought might serve her well, indifferent as she was to the usual distractions of celebrity. Let I stand accused of bragging, I'll let him do it for me. Brett Haber here, John's co-desk jockey at Tennis Channel. I'm going to jump in and guest answer this one, because if John did it himself, it would come off as self-aggrandizing, and I don't want to see him jeopardize his boyish humility and charm. John was way out in front of the Osaka bandwagon. In fact, as far back as 2016, John was so relentless in his touting of Naomi as a future star, that I took to calling him Osaka Bureau Chief John Wertheim on the air. He saw the power, and that it seemed to come with a situational governor, something many young power players lack. He saw the serve and the movement and the compelling personal story and told us all she was on the verge of doing something big. We would generally all respond to this by nodding and then asking some insipid question about the swimsuit issue. But he was right. He was the prescient one. He was the one who foresaw her greatness before it fully manifested on the court. If only he packed for trips with equal forethought, he wouldn't have to resort to wearing business-class airplane socks with his dress shoes during the second week of a major. It's poignant to compare Federer and Brady this time of the year, more so as the Super Bowl coincides elegantly with the Australian Open. With Federer's loss and Brady's subpar regular season statistically, I was wondering about it and would love your thoughts. The parallels are striking. Federer plays a relatively light schedule, and this summer was the first time in 17 years that Brady did not participate in summer training, to the dismay of his coach, nonetheless. I think while they both are still capable of moments of breathtaking brilliance on any given day, as they progress along towards the twilight of their careers, there are more bad days sprinkled in between than when they were in their prime. Father Time stops for no one, but the great ones find a way to slow it down, right? Deepak, Seattle. We note that this was sent before the Super Bowl. Father Time stops for no one, but both Federer and Brady make a convincing case that you can impede Time's crawl with speed bumps. Both are smart about their schedule and training, and invest accordingly. Both have figured out how to manage the family component. Both are prepared to make concessions in exchange for continued play at a high level. Brady might not win MVP. Federer may not be ranked no. 1, but they still are giving themselves every opportunity to be successful. Long may they continue. I just wanted to say that I thought your mailbag from Jan. 30, 2019 was particularly substantive on all sorts of topics. I also wanted to send some support for what you said about civility on social media. By all means, Jen, type hey thanks. A number of you wrote in with similar sentiment, which I appreciate. I realize I sound like an old man here, but I write this as a middle-aged guy, cosseted in privilege. CMY respect for Madison Keys and her cause only grows. But I still find it such a jarringly strange experience to be going about your business, and have strangers drop F-bombs on you and call for you to be fired. I feel like I've made this example before, but I never understood the appeal of the show, Friends, so I didn't watch it. Never once did it cross my mind to write to Matt LeBlanc and Matthew Perry and tell them they were talent-deprived hacks who should contract incurable canker herpes and get hit by a bus. If nothing else, Twitter in particular will provide social psychologists with a fertile research basin for centuries. Super Bowl 53 or Djokovic v Nadal LIII, which was the bigger anticlimax, or anticlimax? Joshua K. Melbourne. Well played. Nadal and Djokovic played for, wait for it, the 53rd time the week prior to Super Bowl 53. Neither quite lived up to the hype. I've had a question bouncing around inside my head for a number of years, and I thought I might run it by you. Why don't right-handed tennis players serve left-handed into the ad court? The wide-swinging lefty serve is a universally feared weapon. Why shouldn't a right-handed player co-opt it? You can serve left-handed and then switch the racket back to your right hand for the rally. It really seems like low-hanging fruit. You don't even have to do it all the time. Just have it as another weapon in your arsenal. Pro athletes work so hard to gain a 5% edge on their opponents. Why not do this seemingly easy thing? Have you come across this concept in your years of tennis coverage? Matthew Wong, Houston. Interesting. But what righties among us can serve comparably well with our non-dominant hand? Sampras won the 2002 US Open to give him 14 Grand Slam singles titles. Since then, 65 Grand Slam events have been played. Federer won 20, Nadal 17, Djokovic 15, Murray 3, Wawrinka 3, Agassi 2, Del Potro 1, Cilic 1, Gaudio 1, Ferrero 1, Roddick 1. Is my math right? If so, that's insane. James, Portland. Insane. Yes, the final set tiebreakers at the Australian Open this year were the story of the tournament for me. Now that we are tweaking with scoring at the Grand Slams, what match format do you think would be fair for both women and men to play so that their matches, along with their prize money, are equal? Best of 3 pro sets with 10-point tiebreakers at 8-8, or best of 5 first to 4 sets with a tiebreaker at 4-4, and the tiebreaker is first to 12 points, or? Well, I'd contend that Djokovic, now a subatomic particle, even among the big 3, and Osaka, 2 straight majors and the No. 1 ranking, were the stars of the tournament. But your point is well taken. Wertheim, 50 parting thoughts from the 2019 Australian Open. The final set tiebreaks were a success, albeit a rare one. Only 6 of the 254 matches went the distance. I stand by my proposal. Women stay at best of 3. Men play best of 3 in Week 1. In Week 2 we invoke the heft of the slams by going to best of 5. Naomi Osaka just entered the top 10 5 months ago. Has any other player ever climbed to No. 1 so quickly? Chris Brown-Charco. This time last year, Osaka was outside the top 50 and, oh wait, here's the prophet of Pontevedra. This is pretty interesting. Merits often needed only a little more than 5 months from breaking into the top 10 to reach No. 1 in 2000. Newcomb follows and the 2 JCs are close behind, taking less than a year to accomplish the feat. 1. Merits often broke into top 10 on June 12, 2000, reached No. 1 on November 20, 2002. John Newcomb broke into top 10 on August 23, 1973, reached number 1 on June 3, 1974. 3. Jim Courier broke into top 10 on March 25, 1991, reached No. 1 on February 10, 1992. 4. Jimmy Connors broke into top 10 on August 23, 1973, reached number 1 on July 29, 1974.